Tonight on News 5 Live, police raids yield guns and drugs. GOB says it has already been waiving work permit fees for Filipino nurses. And young people are asked to give their healthy blood to those in need. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
Fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, June 15th. I am Sabrina Daly. The mass resignation of Filipino nurses from the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital directly threatens the existing workforce at the National Referral Facility. It is anticipated that by the end of this month, as many as 33 caregivers will have tendered their resignations in order to pursue a career elsewhere outside of the country. When we interviewed nurse Robert Reyes on Friday, we were informed that the issue stems from a significant hike in the cost of temporary employment permits. Nurse Reyes is among those leaving from Belize to pursue more lucrative offers in the United Kingdom. Today, the Ministry of Immigration issued a release which stated that 33 special permits were issued to Filipino nurses between September 14, 2020 and February 10, 2021. Those permits, the minister says, are valid until February 2022. Nonetheless, all 33 of those nurses will be gone by the end of this month. Dr. Andres Sosa, chair of the KHMH Authority, was on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes this morning and addressed the issue.
There is a great deal of dissatisfaction, I should say, primarily amongst the Filipino nurses here, but also other foreign nurses who are seeing attempts at enforcing regulations with regards to the licensing. To be fair, this is an issue that has been going on for at least the last couple of years, but what is being said is that there are attempts now to try and enforce those regulations. Obviously, it's not an opportune time for this to happen, and we believe at Carl Huchner that is part of what is creating dissatisfaction and is spurring an even greater number of nurses to depart from our institution.
What's the number that we're looking at right now?
Well, to the 31st of May, we are looking at 21 resignations of nurses. There has been an aggressive recruitment effort, and we have managed to recruit 12 full-time nurses and 7 part-time nurses. To the end of June, we foresee that there will be at least 12 more resignations.
According to Dr. Sosa, the hospital is banking on a compassion of young nurses to fill the void that will be left upon the departure of the Filipino nurses. Should the situation be exacerbated by an all-out rash of COVID-19 cases, the KHMH chair says that the hospital will be forced to hire at least 30 additional nurses.
We hope to be able to fill the gap with the graduating class of nurses from UB. We are told by Nurse Bell, the Chief Nursing Officer, that there will be 40 graduates, and that priority will be given to the KHMH to be able to recruit these nurses. There are no posts available in the public sector, and that gives us at the KHMH a certain advantage to be able to recruit at least a large number, we hope, of these nurses. But we also have an externship program at the KHMH, and what it is that we hire or we create positions for these nurses who have graduated but who are still waiting to take their exams. Presently, there are 8 positions for these young nurses. The board has recently voted to expand the number of positions to 15. So that is a stopgap measure. But also we have temporary positions for PCAs, primary care assistants, and that also helps to some extent. So if the situation does not deteriorate in terms of the COVID pandemic, then perhaps we will be able to fill the gaps. The problem, however, is if we have a full-out outbreak of COVID, whereby we will need to staff the COVID unit, and then we would be looking at a need for at least 30 more nurses.
Coupled with the departure of the Filipino nurses, the KHMH is also experiencing a change at the management level, where contracts for the Chief Executive Officer as well as 4 other senior positions have come to an end. It is similarly expected that in the weeks ahead, a new CEO will be named and the other posts that have been made vacant will also be filled.
I have been at the KHMH for 20 years.
Yes.
So I have had the advantage of living and seeing the problems that exist within the institution. It is an institution that necessarily must undergo rejuvenation every so often. If we look at the fact that from 2016 to today, there is $35 million of outstanding bills that have not been paid. If we look at the fact that just in 2020 alone, there is $9 million of bills that have not been collected. Certainly it was a pandemic year, but if we take the trend of so much money not coming back to us, then it's a crisis. The board feels like it is necessary to shake things up. It is necessary to get a new energy from all the directors in the institution, because we have big dreams and aspirations that are the dreams and aspirations of the Belizean public. I come from a clinical background, and my commitment to the public is that only the very best people will be able to attain those positions. That is my commitment. I do welcome the scrutiny. Indeed, I wish that more scrutiny can be had, not only for the KHMH board, but all the boards that operate across this country. So I welcome the scrutiny.
Coming up, grieving fathers and dead sons. One has some closure while the other still seeking answers. These stories when we return.
So
What happened to his son? That is the question one father from Punta Gorda is asking tonight, one day after his son's body was found on a small key 10 miles off Belize City. The deceased, Cecil Tillett Jr., was a former firefighter reportedly employed by the CIB officer who took him to the island as security guard last week. On Monday afternoon, his employer reportedly visited the island and found Tillett's body lying face down. Adding to the mysterious circumstances is the fact that one of his legs was missing. His father, Cecil Tillett Sr., reached out to News 5 via phone to say he has not seen his son for some time and only learned of his death today.
His profession varied. His second last profession that I am aware of was working with the National Belize Fire Service at Bell, China. From there, I understand this information I just received today, that he was doing a watchman job on some key in front of Belize.
Sir, are you aware if your son had any sort of health condition, underlying difficulties with his health?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay. Has he ever communicated to you that he has problems with anyone?
Not that I am aware of. He visited me in this district about 6 years ago. Met my brother's children, their cousins, had son, whatever. He went back. Hasn't come back to this district since then.
Do you suspect foul play in your son's death at this time, or are you not certain?
I have no idea as to what is the cause of death.
Okay.
What is missing, because I understand he's lost a limb, one of his feet.
The burnt remains found on a farm in Esperanza Village last week were identified on Tuesday as that of missing fireman Peter Louis Jones. His grieving father, Peter Jones Sr., told News 5 today how he was able to recognize his son.
We did a autopsy in Barrel Boom, and when they stripped the body, I witnessed my son from the tattoo he had on the face. It was very, very sad, but I had to go and witness the autopsy to make sure that it was my son, right?
Does this bring some sort of closure to you and the family now, that you know that this was your son?
Yes, definitely bringing closure to us, because that's what we wanted to know. If we could have, so we could have had a proper burial for him.
Sir, how do you piece the puzzle together in terms of what happened to your son that led to this situation?
Well, we never had no problem with no one, or we don't have no beef with nobody. So I don't really could say what happened, but because like I said, we don't have family that have any enemy with it or have any wood with nobody. You know, he work at the fire station. He do by himself. His wife just had baby a week ago, and he went missing. That's about it. But we don't really have no enemy with no one to say that someone would do something like this to him. But obviously now that somebody probably had to have responsibility for this.
Do you now trust the police to do a thorough investigation? Are you leaving it in their hands?
Yes, we leave everything in the hands of the police and the Almighty Father, you know. The Lord said, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, so.
The Special Patrol Unit conducted an operation in the St. Martin de Porres neighborhood on Monday night, which yielded a quantity of marijuana, as well as a cache of weapons. 7 pounds of cannabis, packed tightly in 3 parcels, were retrieved from a property on Carnation Street. The raid was led by Assistant Superintendent Aaron Gamboa and took place shortly before 8 p.m. It also turned up 3 firearms, including a pair of revolvers and a .22 pistol. In Corozal Town on Monday, SPU personnel were also tipped off about a stash house. Following up on that lead, they visited an abandoned cement structure where a search of the property led to the discovery of a gray plastic bag under a pile of rocks. Inside the bag was a black and silver Jericho brand pistol. A magazine found inside the weapon contained 6 9mm rounds. The firearm was turned over to Corozal police. June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The National Council on Aging says last year, 4% of domestic violence cases were crimes against older men and women. But only 1 out of every 24 cases of elder abuse is actually reported to authorities. Honing in on Belize, the release says, quote, elder abuse is considered a silent epidemic as older persons often refuse to admit that their loved ones have mistreated them, and due to physical frailty or dependence and unable to leave abusive situations, unquote. Today, Minister of Human Development and Families, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, issued a call to all Belizeans to play a more active role in the lives of the elderly, to end the abuse and help them feel less isolated.
Elder abuse comes in many forms, including the misuse of finances, isolation, or the neglect of the older person's needs. Unfortunately, the abuse often occurs at the hands of family members, caregivers, friends, or people they trust. An older person who is being abused feels a deep sense of hurt and embarrassment to report that a loved one has mistreated them. The challenges older people face have been compounded since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. While physical distancing is a must, social exclusion is not. On the better side, as a country, we can and will continue to strengthen efforts to ensure that the contributions and voices of older persons are not forgotten nor excluded. This can be done in simple ways: checking up on your elderly neighbors, friends, or family members, or teaching older persons how to be technologically savvy, including learning the basic ins and outs of digital devices so they can enjoy social media, video calls, and being connected to their friends and families. When we ensure that our older persons know that they are not alone, we build their resilience and empower them to speak out. Today, June 15th, we challenge you to make a commitment to support the ongoing work with our elderly. This can be done by getting involved in the work of the local community groups, volunteering to assist older persons in your community, or speaking up when you see an older person being mistreated or neglected.
After the break, we will have the latest from the Football Federation of Belize. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures. A memorandum of understanding was signed between the National Sports Council and the Football Federation of Belize to further the development of the sport among the youth. The official event took place this morning at the FFB headquarters in Belmopan. The media turned in virtually. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The agreement penned between government officials and the FFB will see additional focus placed on the development of football in Belize at the youth level.
We will be collaborating with the National Sports Council in developing football in specific all around the country. We will be giving the National Sports Council our technical skills. We will be training coaches that are affiliated with the Sports Council. And where we see it necessary, the FFB will also be investing in the Sports Council facilities that need some sort of repair to get it up to playing standard.
So while the MOU is creating opportunities for coordinators, volunteers, coaches and referees to train and improve their skills and knowledge of football, the collaboration will see investment at both primary and secondary schools. It has the full support of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and E-Governance. CEO Jose Urbina was on hand for the signing.
We believe that partnership is key, and partnership is key to accomplishing our vision. It is not only about the strategy, but how we execute that strategy also. And we have realized that the FFB has the reach into the primary schools, the reach into the secondary schools, so that they are able, and in partnership with us, to promote football and educate our students and young people as to how to really play football, how to increase the skills, and overall increase the skill level within our country so that we are able to represent, our youth are able to represent our country much better than what they're doing currently.
Signing on behalf of the National Sports Council were Chairman Linsford Castillo and Director Ian Carl.
We have to work together. FFB has to use our facilities, and countrywide we share the same concept. We share the same office spaces per se. So we have been working together throughout the years. So the MOU seals that commitment to ensure that whatever facilities we have in the country, FFB can use. Of course, in collaboration with the National Sports Council, where young people will be taking advantage of these programs, these classes, the continuation of working together with the Ministry of Education when it comes to schools, football for schools. These are all programs that we want to engage in, and the MOU sets forth and seals those commitments that we want to have in Belize.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The Football Federation of Belize recently announced the appointment of 3 head coaches to lead the continued development of the sport at the youth level. All are trained and licensed coaches from Trinidad as well as Belize, and included in the lineup is a female head coach, Iris Centino. News 5's Dwayne Moody met the coaches this afternoon in a virtual session.
Nicholas Ara was named head coach for the U15 national team back in December 2020. But over the past few days, the Football Federation of Belize announced that Trinidadian John George and Belizean Iris Centeno will head the U18 men and the U17 female national teams respectively. It's a mission by the Youth Development Program that is being undertaken to get these national teams to no longer participate but compete in international tournaments.
My level, my passion, my heart is at the grassroots. My heart is at U10, U13, U15. That is where I find my passion. I see myself very much at when I was at that age. I wish I had someone who would have taught me the way that we are teaching the youths today. Some of these same players will be moving forward to the U17, will be going up to the U18, and so forth. So it's very important for me as the head coach to put that foundation in and let it instill in the players so that they can move forward from the U15 down to the U16, whether it's male, boys. All of us will be teaching the national playing style, which is the 4-3-3, right up to the A team. Everyone is playing that same style, so it's very important for me to lay the foundation down.
For the first time in the history of the sport, Belize has a female national team head coach. It is something that Centeno has been qualifying herself for, having obtained the CONCACAF C and D license, and not to mention years of experience in working with national teams. She says that even during the pandemic, the young female athletes prepared virtually, as they will be facing off against Barbados, Curacao, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines later this year.
I need to start to train them to understand the formation, to understand each position, how you're supposed to move on the field when we have the ball, when we lose the ball. And that's our objective right now. It's not about going to win. Yes, we want to start to compete. That's our objective, win and do great, because we no longer just want to go on trips to participate. But we want to start with the fundamental education that you need girls to understand football, to understand the position, to understand how football is being played now.
Meanwhile, the U18 men's national team is getting a head start, and the athletes are already in camp preparing for the UNCAF Championships, slated to be held in October in Costa Rica. Coach John George has been in Belize for the past 20 years and is one of the pioneers behind the Valencia YWAM Boys Football Academy. The team has been winning tournaments in the region. Coach George shares his philosophy, which he believes results in successful football.
As a coach, my teams and every team that I've ever worked with has a high standard of discipline. It's a non-negotiable, whereby for us, we have 4 words that is the foundation of this U18 national team. These 4 words are the pillars that we have selected to be the standard by which the U18 men's national team will be defined by. Those 4 words are discipline, dedication, determination, and respect. So that's the heart that we want to see develop. By nurturing our young talent early, we will see the results down the road. It's a large investment, and it's a worthwhile investment.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And in news from the Belizean diaspora, the son of well-known Belizean basketball star Darwin Carter was recently featured on KTLA News in Los Angeles. Not for his basketball skills like his dad, but because he has chosen an entirely different path to success. Jalen Carter did love the sport, but the downtime from COVID-19 caused him to pivot and throw his all into his schoolwork. He got such good grades, he became valedictorian of his high school graduating class. Here's that story from KTLA.
Today, a high school senior was recognized for his academic accomplishments, but it did not come without sacrifice. The student athlete had to give up his passion in order to speak at his own graduation.
The pandemic struck us at a very crucial time in our lives, putting us at many disadvantages. It has not been an easy year for any of us.
A challenging year for students like Jalen Carter, this year's valedictorian at Manual Arts High School in South LA.
To get that acknowledgement from a school that has so much history, so for me to be a part of that is definitely be memorable for me.
Graduating the top of his class was always his main focus, even while putting a pause on his passion.
My main goal was to just continue to be a student first, because I know that one day basketball will stop. Yeah, that is my passion, but I know one day it will stop.
That was a choice this all-city basketball player had to make due to the pandemic. When the school district finally allowed high school basketball last month, Manual Arts decided not to field a team. Jalen could transfer to a school with basketball, increasing his chances of being recruited or stay and fulfill his dream of becoming valedictorian with a 4.2 GPA.
It really affected Jalen. He had a really down period during this time, and just the fact that our school wasn't hosting basketball, it really kind of killed the process of his recruitment.
Putting academics before athletics is something Jalen's family instilled in him, a moment his parents got to cherish on graduation day.
I'm so happy and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
Ecstatic right now, just to be so proud of him, to know that he came here and he accomplished so much.
If Mr. Jalen Carter will come forward, I'd like to present this to you.
A recognition bestowed with high praise after much sacrifice in a year that was anything but normal.
Congratulations, class of 2021, on what may be your first, second, or fifth accomplishment.
or maybe even your 10th, but certainly not your last.
Many viewers will recall that Jalen's father, Darwin Carter, born in Belize, was considered one of the stars on the Belize national basketball team in the late 90s and early 2000s. Just ahead, they travel hundreds of miles. Just ahead, a healthy person means healthy blood. Find out which age group is considered the very best blood donors when we come back.
Give what you have used.
With popping deals for Dad. In the month of June, we're offering 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. And that's not all. The race is on Saturday, June 19th. All roads leads to Benny's Cotton Tree Compound, mile 43 on the George Price Highway, where we will host the first ever Benny's 100. To enter the race, all you have to do is purchase your cart kit from Benny's for only $100. Assemble your cart, sign up, and get a chance to ride off with fabulous prizes. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Remember, it's popping deals for Dad in June and Benny's 100 on June 19th, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardena Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay, everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means everyone having the freedom to be themselves.
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination. It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building Belize.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
It is World World Blood Donor Day and the Belize National Blood Transfusion Services needs safe blood and blood products for transfusion. Your voluntary blood donation to the bank contributes to its 100% blood donation target. Supervisor Adrian Martinez told News 5 where they stand with donations at the moment.
They got different type of donors. They got the replacement, they got the therapeutic, and they got the volunteer blood donors. So when you come and give voluntary, you're giving volunteer for the blood bank. So we can use that blood for any type of an accident, surgeries, you name it, and we use that blood for.
What's the need of the blood bank currently in terms of quantity? Is there ever a time when the bank says, all right, we have enough blood, we have too much blood, and so we can't take no more right now?
Okay, the target is 100% volunteer blood donation. We are at 11.6 this year, and the remaining is replacement. Replacement is basically you come and you give what you have used, or you reserve that unit for a specific procedure. So
Way below target.
yeah, we're way below. So however, it's a continuous educational process, and we want to get the community, get involved. We want to build this culture to be at 100% volunteer. And whenever that happens, then you will see that the outcry from the public, you will not see that going about, because most of the time you will hear and the request, and they're asking for blood donations.
The theme for this year's celebration is Give Blood and Keep the World Beating. To increase its voluntary blood donations, the National Blood Transfusion Services is calling on the young to voluntarily donate blood. Martinez says young people have the potential to contribute healthier blood to save many lives.
As we see right now, the crisis is worldwide. This COVID pandemic has took a lot from us. So we can see that the young generation are the ones that are coming out. So they're our potential blood donors. You know, they're healthy. They can go move about. They don't have no restrictions. They don't have no underlying condition. So what we are doing right now, we're calling the attention of every young person to come in and donate blood, because you know, a healthy person is a healthy blood for us. So young persons can come every 3 months and they can donate. And they can pass on the message as well, because you know they have a lot of friends. So the more friends you know, the more blood donations you will get.
You may have noticed the various announcements from government departments of a change in their opening hours. Well, that shift came into effect June 14th, when along with the recent implementation of a 10% salary reduction, as well as a 3-year increment freeze, government decided to shorten the work week by 5 hours. Today, the official circular came out from CEO Rolando Zetina of the Ministry of Public Service. That memorandum reads, quote, as part of the government's undertaking with the unions on reducing the working hours for public officers, it has become necessary to standardize the scheduling of such reduced hours for the provision of service to the populace. The cabinet has therefore agreed and declares that the official opening hours of government business will be between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. from Monday to Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Fridays of each working week, unquote. Just ahead, they travel hundreds of miles to come and lay their eggs. Now Belize's Sea Turtles Network needs your help to keep their offspring safe. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet, monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight projects.
Why, Tony?
Boy, kid, where you going, man?
We actually can see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups from the grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing things since April 15th, you know. And I just routed the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? Where you going?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
It is Sea Turtle Week, and Belize's conservation community is raising awareness of these endangered creatures and their long journey, sometimes hundreds of miles in open water, to their nesting grounds. News 5 spoke with the 3 people leading the protection efforts in Belize.
Mario Muschamp is off the coast of Punta Gorda. He's heading to a beach in the Port Honduras Marine Reserve where sea turtles nest.
This is actually one of the better nesting sites for turtles here in the Marine Reserve. And so one of the things that we do during this time of the year is walk these beaches and look for any nesting activities. And then what we'll do is we try to identify the species by measuring the track from what we see in the sand. And then we try to locate the nest. Once we locate the nest, then we take measurements of how far that nest is from the high tide mark, just to get an idea.
The green turtle, the hawksbill, and the loggerhead are 3 of the species that commonly nest across Belize. These turtles play important biological, cultural, and economic roles in our country. While Belize still has a healthy population of these sea turtles, they're endangered, and so their numbers are dwindling worldwide.
All sea turtles have varying degrees of endangered. They can be vulnerable, they can be critically endangered, or they can be data deficient. So for instance, the hawksbill is critically endangered, and it's been protected the longest here in Belize. In 1993, the fisheries regulations were amended to include complete protection for the hawksbill turtle. So that meant that it could not be harvested for food, for the shell, or to make jewelry. So yet that was some time ago, and still today, people are observed selling articles made from the hawksbill turtle shell.
Since 2002, all sea turtles in Belize are protected under the Fisheries Act. While the last sea turtle offense was committed over 3 years ago, the Fisheries Department says that when it comes to these offenses, there are habitual offenders largely concentrated in one area.
Since 2013 to present, there have only been 4 arrests made for sea turtles. And I must also state that all was a 1-year period. One in each year. One was in 2014, 15, and in 16 and 17. The last matter that we took before the court was 2017. The fines for it is $2,000 or 1 year imprisonment, or both fine and confine, right? So the magistrate have the discretion of using that. With the new act, it falls under a section that for the general penalty of the new Fisheries Resource Act, which up to $50,000 someone can be fined for a piece of a turtle. Here in Belize district is one of the most problematic areas when it comes to marine turtles. I mean, majority of the other part of the country, coastal wise, people are very educated, very knowledgeable, right? And we do have what you call like 2 bad eggs, or people who just don't get it, all right? Because all those 4 offenses are right here in Belize City.
And so it's important to safeguard the nesting sites to maintain a robust population of sea turtles. In Punta Gorda, tide rangers monitor several miles of beach where hawksbill turtles nest primarily. But they are losing eggs and hatchlings due to predators. And what's even more worrisome is that they're losing nesting sites because of erosion.
From what we're seeing, we would say roughly somewhere between 50 to 60 animals are nesting along that stretch of beach. So that's not a bad number. And from what we're seeing, predominantly they're hawksbill, so they're the more endangered species. So it's very crucial for us here to really protect those beaches and ensure that we get good survival, good success from those nesting sites. So we're actually losing beaches, and with that we're losing nesting sites, and that's very crucial to the population, the population status, because if there are no more nesting beaches, then eventually you're going to lose your population of turtles. And we see that erosion is one of the big problems happening along our coastline.
But sea turtles have been under pressure for decades, and that's why over 20 years ago, a group of conservationists came together to raise awareness of sea turtles in Belize. The Belize Sea Turtle Conservation Network leads the advocacy for these marine animals through data, research, and education. But these sea turtles remain at risk, with humans posing the biggest threat.
But the human threat can be it can also be change in the shoreline. Other threats to sea turtles in Belize include discarded fishing gear. So it's really important to know where your fishing gear is, or not to throw garbage in the sea or even in the river. So it's possible that sea turtles will consume plastics and other marine debris, and so it will cause a clog in their intestines, and they won't be able to pass it, and then they can die. So probably humans are definitely the biggest threat. Coastal development, also boat strikes.
But it is costly to monitor sea turtle nesting sites, and resource for enforcement is a challenge. The conservation community relies on educational campaigns and the support of the Belizean public, as well as people like Mario Muschamp, who walks for miles on a beach to map the nests on GPS and monitor them throughout the nesting season to ensure that hatchlings make it out to sea.
That's 14 miles of beach to walk. And so we try to do it in sections. So we have one day we go and cover a certain section of the beach, and because we are rangers, we don't only do this. We have other things that we need to do, so we can only allot so many time to do it. It's a bit time consuming, but for me, very rewarding in the end when you go back to those nests and you start seeing, those little hatchlings getting back into the sea. That's really rewarding for me, and so I really enjoy doing this kind of work.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
If you would like to help to protect these turtles, you can contact the members of the network, Hull Chan Marine Reserve, Belize Fisheries Department, Ecomar, Belize Audubon Society, Southern Environmental Association, Toledo Institute for Development and Education, or any of the marine protected areas managed by the Fisheries Department. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.